yeah, we kind of just hunkered down for the first day. I had a lot of friends and neighbors coming by telling us that they were sorry. We were the only expats there. There were no other expats where we were. Americans anyway. Or so
people who lived in that community long term anyway.
Yeah, they were coming to us and telling us that, giving us their condolences and their blessings and stuff. And then 2 days later, and the next day, we started hearing all these chants and hollers and things about congratulating me and thanking me and all these things on these like loudspeakers going by in front of our street. And we found out that the governor, who was nasty to me at the time, had been immediately replaced by the president of the country we were in, and removed from power immediately and had to report back to the Capitol. And so it was like a celebratory thing for our locals at the time. And so it was just really neat to see God's hand in that.
So the day that that we get a call and our friend comes over and tells us that the governor is gone. Like he's gone right now. The president of the country has heard your story and is acting on your behalf and has removed him because he acted out of bounds when he ordered Jeff to be assaulted and put in jail. And I just started laughing. I said, Jeff, can I read you Psalm 37? Like, I need to read this to you. Like, I never dreamed that we would actually see, like in a few days' time, like to see this come to pass, this promise that God had given us. And so those lines about trusting in the Lord and waiting, and him acting on our behalf, like those were the things that I really pulled out of this chapter and those moments. And it wasn't until later that the parts about the evildoers being cut off, and you will see the wicked man, that you will look on when the wicked are cut off. So that strengthened my faith, like more than probably anything ever has before, to see like this promise that God gave us come true like so quickly. I thought it was one of those like, kind of metaphorical things, right? Like someday God is going to punish the evildoers and he's going to bring justice. But we got to see that happen like in real life right before our eyes. And so those people, like Jeff said, who were calling the day before to give their condolences, people started stopping by to give their congratulations and just to express like their love for us, and just like with laughter and bringing Cokes, and it was just like this complete turnaround of where there was all this grief and sorrow, and then there was this community rallying around us and just loving us and being happy for us and excited for the good of their community, because this man was not very well loved by the community in general. So we still left, a couple days later. We still kept those plans, but it just felt really like free, like we were free to leave. We weren't running or hiding or leaving because of fear. I think that was really important. That even though we had already been sensing that that there was change going to come and that maybe we weren't going to be there for very long, and God was just clearly making a way for us to exit, making that happen faster than we might have in our own time, at least for me. But he provided that way for us to go in peace and to go as people who are free to leave, with still loving the place that we were leaving from, and just with his presence like so clearly with us.
And then we came back several months later, back to States, and then here to Columbus. And then over the course of a couple of years, we were contemplating what we were going to do. We were contemplating moving back. It was in our hearts to go back. Mm-hmm. And then during COVID, and then all this other restrictions, and we kids got older and involved with life, and we did, just those doors closed pretty abruptly, and like it was not an option for us to go back. was heartbroken for a little bit, and then to the idea of seeing God's hand in things, like within like 2 days of finding out that we're officially not going back for good. I come in contact with a local guy from that country who lives 3 miles away, who I'd actually had a meal with in his house in the capital 7 years before. And now they live 3 miles, 5 minutes away.
The other part of the promise in Psalm 37 talks about you will inherit the land, and it says it over and over and over again. I forget how many times I counted at one point. So we got to see that promise like really fast of the evil man just being gone. But I've just all these years have wondered about the promise about inheriting the land, and so I think that was part of pursuing going back. And I'm still not sure if that means that someday we will be there or physically or not, but I do believe that God is at work there. We don't need to be there for that to happen. And I believe that place belongs to him, like that his spirit is clearly still there and still moving, and his people are still there. And we just hope, just have great hopes and dreams for what the church can look like there in that place. But knowing that those people God has brought here, right here in our backyard, is just like so cool to see how he gives us these dreams and he's with us in them, and just continuing to weave the story together that we could have never dreamed or imagined, and continuing to let us be a part of it, and just unfolding these promises and his faithfulness to us through the whole journey.